Go select.
And he.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen. Hope everybody's having a nice day, night, whatever the case. Welcome to a little topic video or real talk from Bill Mack, depending on what channel you're watching from, which reminds me, while you're here, friend, if you're not already a subscriber, please sub to me. If you're watching from Bill's, sub to him. You know, we love the support. We love the sub. We love hearing from you guys. I love getting comments on my videos from you know, somebody in the YouTube community and you know, saying, hey, I checked out your video, great job, or you suck. Either way, I enjoy it. I enjoy the attention. It's pretty cool, pretty cool. And tonight we're going. Okay, you got a liberal, a progressive here, and you got a conservative Republican here, but we've been best friends forever. And Bill might argue, say, Brandon, you were cooler when you were a Republican, but it's cool. You know, he's my friend anyway. Because, you know, like when you have the friends that drink and smoke and one of them stops drinking and smoking, the other friends don't want to hang out with him no more. Because like my friend Bear, for example, he was like, come on, man, you don't smoke weed, you don't drink no more. I said, nope. And it's like he didn't really want to be my friend anymore. Whereas in Bill's case, he's like, man, I don't care if you're liberal, left, right, a Buddhist or an atheist or whatever you are. I don't care. You're still my friend, you know, and I appreciate that. Because at the end of the day, friendship matters. Now on to our civil discourse. Well, my general thought, it's going to be like Batman versus Superman, but we're talking about Trump. You know, we don't like Donald Trump. We completely agree on that part. But here's the origins of it. Basically, what happened in my case was I've enjoyed politics for the past 8-9 years or so. I get into it, get out of it. But what happened was I was talking to this lovely girl in Taiwan, and I was really focused on Asia politics and trying to understand her more in her country and stuff. I was going to go see her, marry her, so on and so forth. Anyway, it didn't work out. So instead of, you know, being all sad and depressed, I said, well, I'm going to get back in good old America. You know, I'm going to get back into politics, start watching the news, because I love politics. It just gets me thinking, keeps my mind happy. Even though I get tired of it sometimes, but it's like sports to me. You know, I love wrestling. I love watching politics, whatever the case. So the bitch left me, and I said, I'm going to get back into politics. And I said, Donald Trump. And I was like, what's going on? It's just crazy. I said, Donald Trump's in the Republican primary? I thought he was a liberal. What's going on here? And so I didn't pay much attention to that. I was like, well, he ain't going to get far. He probably thought himself that he wasn't going to get far. He's like, well, I'll see how it goes and get some videos out, get some attention out of it or whatever. So anyway, but from the left side of things, I was like, well, I called it around the fourth Democratic debate. And it was basically, you know, Hillary and Bernie. And I saw Hillary talking, you know, first. I was like, yeah, because I'm not a big fan of Hillary. I said, who's this other cat, you know? And then Bernie started talking. He started chewing out Hillary, calling her dishonest as far as certain policies went and bills she signed. And I was like, hey, I like this guy. I like him more than Obama, you know? So I immediately became a Bernie fan. And so it was exciting times for the Democratic Party because the party's kind of split. You know, you got Hillary. She's center-right as far as economics go. She's kind of like a conservative behind the curtain and things like that. She's shady. She changes all. She goes with the polls, whatever the polls say. She's whatever you want her to be. Whereas Bernie comes off more honest. He's a progressive Democrat. We haven't had this in a long time. He's very, very unique candidate. And he was also an independent for 30 years. So he's been on watching both sides and whatnot. And I have no problems with independence. I have no problems with independent thinking. I'm independent myself in a lot of ways, but my Buddhism philosophy keeps me on the left for a lot of reasons as far as helping people and things like that. I mean, I'm too giving sometimes, sure. I mean, but we're trying to find middle ground here. But it was exciting times for me on the left side of things until Hillary started getting all the majority of the votes, and it looks like she's going to be the nominee, and Bernie don't have much of a shot now. He's got a slight chance, but not much chance there. So I kind of got ruined there. My hopes got ruined there when Hillary took over. She's getting all the delegates, you know, and we're hoping she gets indicted so the super delegates can switch to Bernie at the convention, and Bernie can be your Democratic a nominee for the general election to destroy Donald Trump. Because I fear Trump can beat Hillary because she's exposed too much. I'm not a Hillary fan. I don't like her at all. Yeah, I would vote Republican for, well, I better not say that because I think I probably would vote for her. I don't know. All I know is I'm voting for Bernie, and even if he don't win, that's who I'm voting for. That's all. But that was just kind of a buzz killer. The last debate they had was in New York, man, and Hillary was pandering to the crowd, and MSNBC is so unfair to Bernie, and that nobody likes him because he was independent, he's progressive, and he's anti-establishment. Hillary is establishment politics. She's Obama 2.0. The establishment, the networks, they love Hillary. They give money to Hillary. You know, she's got them in their back pocket. So other than that, that's why the race is starting to suck for me, because if Bernie can win, great. I'm with Bernie all the way. So that was just my quick introduction and backstory on the Democratic side of things, like Batman versus Superman, the origin stories. So that was the origins of the Democratic Party this election from my perspective very quickly. And now we're going to get Bill's insight from his perception from his white wing point of view. I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm just saying, you know, it's the lefty and the righty, even though he's left-handed.
Yeah. Well, dude, thank you for that introduction, and very interesting in your background in the and your discovery and of this past year's Democratic Party. With me from the Republican Party, I would say everything dates back to the mid to late 90s. I was very big every year. Election year politics. I love politics. History even more, but politics more or less. Back in 92, back when Clinton first ran, that's when I first really got into it. I would sit there during the year and I would listen, even though I couldn't vote. I missed voting by 1 month. The election was in November. My birthday is in December, so I missed it. But I would listen to Clinton. It was when Clinton was running first. He was running against Ross Perot and George Sr. And it was just amazing to me listening to him. And I like Clinton. You know, it wasn't what party was. It was just listening to what the man was saying. The man was a good talker. You know, he seemed like he wanted to do a whole lot for our country. So I got really interested in it. And then, you know, which he won both terms against and then the second year, he ran against Bob Dole and Ross Perot again, you know, and he won then. So, you know, by then I thought I was Democratic because I was listening, because he was wanting to help. He was always focused on the middle class and the poor and cuts and stuff to help that. And, you know, that was what I associated with. That was part of why we saw. I, for years, began on it. Maybe didn't know this, but I did register as Democrat when I first started to, when I got to vote. When I got the first chance to vote, I registered to vote, and that's what I listed as. And then as time went on, you see also, I think it started with George Bush back in 2000. He ran against Al Gore and Ralph Nader, which, you remember, that was a funny election because while Bush won the electoral vote, Al Gore actually won the popular vote. So actually the majority of Americans voted more for Gore than Bush won, but Bush pulled out the electoral vote, which is what really we go by, which is oddly enough funny that we go by that instead of the popular vote. But anyway, I just started listening to politics and listening to that, and I've listened to more of what really tugged at me was more the moral issue and some of the things in which they were trying to talk about. And I tried to get a clarity of where I really stood at whichever party really stood at. And so somewhere in the mid 2000s, maybe especially when 2004 came up, when he ran, George Bush ran against John Kerry, that's when I switched over to Republican. And since then, 2004, I voted for Bush. Actually, I voted for Bush both times that I voted. And then in 2004, which in 2008, which Obama ran. I voted for McCain, and I voted for Romney. So I've been kind of with the Republican Party, and it's more or less an issue of me, of just where I stand with my morals and what I believe in. That's why I chose them. And, which you and I have discussed at different times, it's kind of not in extreme right-wing, extreme left-wing, because with kind of both parties, we both kind of have issues where you feel either socially or conservatively about one thing or another. We're not both fully into one thing. There's things about policies and stuff that we kind of are on both sides about. So we're not fully extremists. We're kind of like some things I believe that the Democratic Party believes in, and there's there's things that the Republicans are really. It's kind of not being torn. It's just that you're not fully extreme of one party or another. You're more of
I wish people on Facebook would understand that, because
there's a difference there. You can't be one party.
People in Congress laugh at people on Facebook that are fanboys of either party, because in the White House it's just different approaches, to it. Mm-hmm. I'm center left, and I think you're probably center right, with as far as policies and social equality go. Because let me see. Yeah, because I mean, even in the primaries, you have Republican GOPs disagreeing. They'll tell you the differences between them, because not all Republicans agree on everything. Bernie Sanders, Hillary Clinton. Hillary's pro fracking. Hydraulic fracking, where they drill in the earth and get these gases and stuff, and it's putting lead in the waters and stuff. Hillary's pro fracking. Bernie's okay. This is why I like Bernie Sanders. He listens to this. See, I'm more of a scientific person when it comes to climate change and global warming. I'm a believer on that, so that puts me on the left, basically. And Bernie's always talking about the scientists and how we need to take care of the earth. Environmental guy. And you don't get that from Hillary. So there is differences between each candidate. So you're right, Bill. I mean, you're not going to agree with every single policy, whatever. You're going to be like center left, center right, or further right, or whatever the case. But earlier, to go back further, I grew up a Republican. I was a Republican for 24, 25 years straight. I remember the Bush years and in the Clinton years, Ronald Reagan a little bit. I was born in the 80s, and my thing was, once I switched, once I became more aware of philosophy studies and psychology and things like that, I'm like, well, I'm more for social equality, because I just feel like some people have mental illnesses and they need help with that, and just different little things like that. But I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm very liberal with stuff like that. A lot of people, they're not evil. They just have a sickness, a lot of them. But we're not going to really get into the specifics of that here. We're just here to talk about Trump. But that's pretty much why I'm on the left. But I was a Republican for 25 years, so I do have a history going back. But I didn't really care for it or really study politics to around 07, 08, because I voted for John McCain in 2008. And, after that, around 2012, I was, on the left side. So I've been a Democrat probably about 6 years now or so. Because it was Obama's second year in the White House is when I was kind of like, that's when I was in school and stuff. And they always say, young people and college students are Democrats, they're liberals, which is kind of true. Young people are Democrats and stuff. They always get the young voters and stuff. But you also have older Democrats too, so don't get discouraged. It's just the way the voting process works, demographics work. But anyway, so what did you think of the Republican primaries? Who was your favorite going into it?
Well, I thought that Romney had a good – at the beginning, before it started, when they started really getting serious about campaigning, I was really hoping Romney would give it another go. I mean, he he did good against Obama the last election. It's just I felt like he didn't – what he did was he just did not – He didn't do it. He did. It's like he had a big first offensive wave, like in a war. That first wave went through, and he was good at offensive. But I just felt like he didn't have a good defense on those last few debates, because then once Obama got through those first wave, Obama launched the offensive those next few, and Mitt just never really had any answer come back for him, and he just never. I felt like Mitt just didn't fully prepare for the way he should have. I mean, he launched a good offensive, but you got to be able to continuously do that, because the debate, there's more than just one debate, and I just felt like if he would have learned from that, I was kind of hoping he was who I was hoping would run this upcoming election. That's who I basically focused on. But then, last time we had Herman McCain, which is a black Republican. He ran pretty good, talked pretty good, but he's just one of those kind that was really low on the meter, and really he just couldn't have no drawing power to him. So he really didn't get as far. So he didn't run this year. So then, but we had another black Republican run, was Dr. Ben Carson.
Yeah.
Now, I like Dr. Ben Carson.
Yeah, me too.
Thought he was a good, because he played, he was good at what he said, but he just did a lot of his mannerisms really got really poked fun at, and he really just, I felt like he didn't really have a full policy set forth. And so anyway, I don't want to get too bogged down with everybody pick and choosing, but this just little ones to pick out to me. So really, when it came down to it, Trump was in it. Okay, Trump has been a novelty in the Republican National GOP election the last 2 to 3 years, 2 or 3 terms. But he's always been this novelty person, that the fact that he's running is always just fun to see. It's kind of like when you have a circus and you see an elephant juggling. You're like, hey, I've never seen that. It's cool. It's coming through one time, and you think, hey, it's fun. And then it goes by, and you look at the rest of it, this series. Well, that's what he was to me. And I don't want to say I was surprised that he is where he is, because I felt like Donald is a good maneuverer. He's a good talker. He's a good, he tries to, he can twist things around to make fun of people. And he's not really, to me, he's not really serious in wanting, which is his quote is to make America great again. But really, he hasn't really shown me the policies. And like some of his policies, which I could throw a few of them off, but to me, I just was really saddened that Kasich was down. I was really hoping out of the 4 that was left, there was Rubio, there was Cruz, there was Kasich, and there was Trump. I was really hoping that Rubio, because Rubio, they said, would have given the best matchup to whoever the Democrats were going to pick. But then Rubio just didn't open up. It's just like he didn't have his personality, and he just got quiet near the end. Kind of like a kid, you go, shh, and they go in the corner and hide. That's what he did.
I think the Republican establishment told him to quiet down.
Yeah, but everybody was backing.
Yeah.
It's just that there just wasn't. He just kind of imploded, and then he was out, and then you have left, and then all I had left was Kasich and Cruz and Trump. And I'm like, okay, I'm hoping that Cruz, the only problem with Cruz is his mom was an American, but he was born in Canada, but they're saying he's American. So then Trump has had this field day with that, much like they did back when Obama, when they talked about his birth certificate, about him. I'm like, oh, no, here we go again. There's another who's born where crisis we're going to have. But that was looming, and he kept bringing it over his head. And so
hey, Bill,
when Cruz
Bill,
when Cruz it was like all was left was, Kasich dropped, and then Kasich was going to help Cruz, and they were going to combine together and try to take out Trump. But then when Kasich let go, and then finally Cruz dropped it, there was nobody left but Trump. And I don't want Trump being my party's representative. And I don't think most of the Republican Party want him to be their figurehead to begin with, because people are going to look at the Republican Party as Donald Trump being the symbol, and they don't really want him to be there to begin with.
Nobody wants no.
So that's just my take. I don't want Trump representing the Republican Party because Trump, to me, teaches nothing but hatred. I found a guy on Facebook that had posted a comment, and he said, I went to a Donald Trump rally, and I've never seen so many people cheer hatred in all my life. I've never seen so many people cheer hate in all my life because Trump, and like I said, I'm just only giving you my insight about him. Maybe we'll get a little more into his stuff in a little bit, but just to say, I'm really disappointed that he's the Republican candidate. And I hope by some chance that when the convention comes around that somehow he can be overthrown, because I don't want to see it. Because if he, like you said, if Donald wins it, I'm not even voting. I'm already making that a point. I'm not even voting if Donald gets it because I don't want to vote for Donald Trump at all. I just don't want him being in an election. It's just surprising to me.
So on the conservative side, it's very disappointing that Donald Trump is a Republican. Very disappointing. He's a presumed nominee. Now on the left, I mean, I enjoyed the Democratic debates, man. They were very passionate. Bernie Sanders all the way. The problem is, you know, like I said, she's got more delegates and she's got the networks behind her, and it's unfair to Bernie. Now, Bernie is similar to Trump as far as getting people fired up. If you watch a Bernie speech, everybody loves Bernie, everybody's fired up, but it's positivity. It's an issue-focused campaign. Hillary, I don't watch her stuff. She doesn't even have a message yet. Bernie's message is a future to believe in. Hillary don't even have a message yet. Trump says make America great again or racist again. So I was very excited during the Democratic primaries, and the debates were great because Bernie, in my opinion, won the majority of the debates. But it's just Hillary pandering to the women and certain corporations and stuff in her back pocket. So because Hillary sucks. Hillary sucks. She's a flawed politician. She's not a good debater. You could tell you could tell when she's lying because she does that. Show me where I changed my views. It's right here, bitch. Show it in HD. I'm not releasing my records. She sucks. Check this out, ladies and gentlemen. Hillary sucks so bad that in 2008 she lost to an African American with a Muslim name. That's how much she sucks. Sucks so bad she lost to a black man with a Muslim name. Come on now. Then you got somebody that actually gives a shit about people, Bernie Sanders, and he's struggling to keep up because we only know about Bernie through the internet because the media makes him sound crazy. Oh, that's just fairy tales. That's just fairy dust and blah, 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 and unrealistic. And it's not unrealistic at all. Right. Very, because in European countries, they have cheaper college and universal health care and have good paying jobs and stuff like that. His policies are not unrealistic. It's just the Democratic establishment doesn't like it. He's not Obama 2.0. He's not Bill Clinton. He's different. He's anti. But so that was my disappointment with it. Hillary getting the delegates, and your disappointment was, Ted Cruz not getting it. Now, on the Republican side, I like John Kasich. As a person, I like John Kasich. I would have voted for him if I was, on the Republican side. And Mitt Romney, I like Mitt Romney a lot. I don't hate Republicans. I thought they were good. It's kind of like wrestling. You got the good guys and the bad guys. You want the good guy to win, but you like the bad guy in ways too. You respect them, Right. So I respect Mitt Romney. I can argue about his, being a crooked businessman or whatever the case. But, and John Kasich, I think John Kasich has very good morals. He always gets teary-eyed in his speeches. He just seems like a really good guy. And that's who I would have voted for him if I was on the right side of things. And let me see. So this all led up to Trump because, we didn't take Trump seriously. I mean, we're putting celebrities in the White House. And from my perspective, Donald Trump is a racist, a bigot. He picks on Mexicans. He picks on blacks. He posted a picture where he's eating Taco Bell, talking about, hey, I ain't racist. I'm eating Taco Bell. He retweeted the KKK a couple of years ago. The man's a textbook narcissist from the way I see it. He has no liberal values, nothing. And that's just the way I see it. And he's not very American because the women he dates are always overseas. So what does he do that's so American other than the American dollar? He doesn't date American women. There's nothing American about him. He's had failed businesses. He pays people to build these Trump Plaza hotels. He's just a name. He's not a smart businessman. He's good at marketing, and he's good at debating, but he's not good with policy. He's not good with policy issues. And that's what Bernie would really tear Trump apart, because he's not a flawed politician. Bernie's not, and but Hillary is. So Trump can attack Hillary on that, and I'm afraid Trump might get the actual victory for Hillary being so exposed as a liar and a fraud. Whereas he couldn't say that stuff about Bernie. There's really nothing to hide with Bernie. All he can say is, "Oh, Bernie, you're unrealistic and crazy," and Bernie can say, "Well, you're unrealistic too. You're trying to build a wall, an unrealistic wall." Which Trump don't even talk about the wall. Now he's saying banning Muslims. Oh, I never said that. That was just a suggestion. That's all. So Trump, he keeps changing what he says. The media loves it because it equals ratings. He's an embarrassment, not just to the Republicans, but to America as a whole. He's just an embarrassment to all forms of government here. He's just an embarrassment. He's a fucking embarrassment. That's how I see Donald Trump. He makes white people look bad, you know. Like Bill said, you know, you got people cheering hatred and stuff. I thought we moved past this, you know. It's like Obama had a baby, and the baby was Trump, you know. Because the people that hated Obama so much unfairly are loving Trump right now. Yeah, it's the complete opposite. You had the African-American, God bless you, president, Barack Obama, and now we got a racist white man running as president, and I believe him to be racist. And white people are good people. Black people are good people. And what he is, in my opinion, he's a stereotype of the Republican Party. Oh, they're just a bunch of rich people, a bunch of racist people, and they're selfish and, you know, and stuff like that. And he's a bad stereotype because conservatives are actually decent people. You know, we just have different philosophy, different views and policies, but at the end of the day, you know, Bill, I've known Bill for a long time. He's a great Republican, a great friend and stuff like that. And he's no Donald Trump. He would never say stuff that Donald Trump. He would never tell somebody to go back to Mexico. He wouldn't build no wall. He's not like that. He wouldn't support stuff like that. Bill's a Christian. He would never support hatred and evil speaking like that. And my thing with Bernie, you know, he don't really talk about spirituality and stuff like that much. He don't have to. He's an issue-focused politician, and that's what matters in a political debate is the issues, you know. And sure, he'll touch on religions and stuff because you got to get the religious vote or whatever, but it's an issue-focused campaign. He's not going out there saying, "Hey, send them Muslims back," and picking on Canadians. And it's crazy. I mean, it's okay. Trump is funny and sad and scary to watch. I'm like, did he just say that? He couldn't even answer the question if he was pro-life or pro-choice. He couldn't even answer it. Then he said, well, if you're pro-life, if you're pro-choice, the woman should be punished. And that's not a good way to get women's votes, for one thing. Because you can say, well, I'm pro-life, but you don't have to punish the woman because sometimes abortion is needed or whatever. Not trying to get in that debate. But, you know, I'm just saying Trump, he didn't answer that question correctly because he's never thought about it. He's never thought about foreign policy. He's never thought about women's rights. He's sexist, textbook narcissist. He's an embarrassment. He's an embarrassment to me for the country. Because you're going to have Europeans laughing at us. You're going to have Asians scared of us. And I'm trying to get me something from Asia. And they ain't going to deal with me because of my representatives. It's fucked up, man. He's a joke. He's a joke, man. A racist. He needs to be shot. You going to kill Abraham Lincoln? You going to kill Lincoln? Kill Trump. Just saying. Not making it, not communicating threats here. I'm just saying. If you want to, you know, let me stop. So what's your thoughts about Trump?
Well, I will actually touch base on what you were just talking about and carry that a little further over. The reason why he has never given a definitive answer about really anything is because it is known that he has changed his party affiliation from Democrat to Republican different.
Wait. He funded Hillary Clinton's campaign in 2008. Yes.
He has flip-flopped his party, you know, and that's a reason why I'm so shocked. And that's how come he basically he couldn't give you a definitive answer, because he don't remember. He's flip-flopped so much for parties, he don't remember what answer he's supposed to give. So
wait. We got a comment. One man from Ohio commented and said, both Clintons for prison. Hey, as a Democrat, I completely agree with you, because they're both corrupt, you know, especially Hillary. Hillary for indictment. Absolutely, sir. Thanks for commenting on that. Please, let's get her indicted and get Bernie Sanders in there. Please, man, that made me so happy. But I just wanted to acknowledge your comment. Thanks for commenting, sir. While you're here, why don't you give us a sub, man? Help our channels grow. Bill's channel is right here on my featured list. Check us out. Thanks for the comment. Sorry about that, Bill. I just wanted to give
I want to thank him too once for the comment. I appreciate anybody's comments to want to make a comment. And like I said, you know, we talk from time to time on these things. So feel free to give us a sub and go through other stuff, variety of content. But yeah, man, getting back to it. Trump is basically flip-flop a lot. I mean, I guess what he's doing is he's playing Republican, Democrat, pulling a flower petal off. You know how to do he loves me not kind of stuff. I guess the Republican this time was the last petal on the feather on the or flower petal. So
Bill,
I guess he's a Republican. He has never really run for an office before, and for him to run president is shocking to me.
It's propaganda. He don't care. He's either a Democrat or a Republican. He just wants to pick a side. But I'm gonna let you talk. But I'm gonna tell you one thing I like about Donald Trump, other than his pure stupidity that makes me laugh so hard, is Melania Trump, his wife. Now his wife, yeah, that's about it. But you know, I was like, she's good eye candy, because Chris Christie, he kisses Trump's ass, and he'd be looking at Melania Trump, and I'll be looking at her too. But that's no reason to vote for Donald Trump. It's an issue-focused campaign. That's what it's supposed to be. But Trump has got a smoking hot wife that just passed puberty. Awesome. That's the only thing I like is his wife. If I had the money and the power, I'll take his wife. You know, but I can't do that. I can't touch the Trump Plaza hotels. WrestleMania 4, baby. Anyway, that's one positive about Trump is his wife. But go ahead. I'm sorry. No, you're cool, because I get that, man. And that's the thing about Trump is he puts down other people's wives. I mean, who does that in a presidential debate? He reminds me of someone like that would do that that's in the school, that would joke about somebody at school. That picking on other people's wives and family, to me, that's a childish thing you would do. He's never ran for any office, and that's why I told you, I literally have to come, and it's sad, folks, I have to come and actually look up what he supposedly stands for, because he never gives you, the only thing I know of that he said he wanted to do, which isn't even platform-wise, is he wants to build a wall. He wants the Mexican government to pay for it, okay? He also don't want no Muslims allowed in the United States of America. And you know, that's about it as far as I know of. Because he, like I said, you've got the Triple K clan, as I like to call them, the nickname Triple K. They support him. They're a racist group, you know, and he really hasn't denied their support. I mean, someone said like that's a racist group report that supported me, I wouldn't want to support. I say thanks, but no thanks. I don't need your support, because accepting their support, no matter where it comes from, matters. You've got to think of what's really right. And like you said, he goes on. Pat Robertson, a known conservative Christian, goes on his show, the 700 Club, and tries to suck up and say all of a sudden he's Christian now. Pandering. I mean, come on. Pandering. You know, he's just as much as Christian as I am Nigerian. There's no way this guy. Dude, I saw that. I saw him on the 700 Club.
Yeah, you told me that, and that's what I'm saying. I know better.
He did that 1 week. He did that 1 week. He went on Pat Robertson's show, and he went somewhere else. It was a Christian show, just to pander to the Christians a little bit. He's like, well, I've always had God in my heart and stuff like that. Then you hear nothing else about it. You know? Well,
you see his tactics. He says here, okay, like pro-choice and pro-life. Okay, one point he defended Planned Parenthood. You know, Planned Parenthood is an abortion clinic, right? Yeah. Okay, he planned it. Now he wants to withdraw Obamacare from funding it. So 1 minute he's defending it, the next minute he's taking money from it. You know, he's talking about the U.S. taking the waterboarding and torture methods and bringing them back, and said that that's nonsense. That is crazy. That is crazy talk. It's like it's just waiting. He changed it. That stuff is so unrealistic, though. I mean, I just can't believe people are voting for this guy. That's what I'm saying. It's hatred. These people are cheering hatred. Sure, some people may feel like that deep inside, with certain things he says, because he says things that a lot of people can relate to, but his handling of them and the realization of dealing with Congress, there's no way those things are going to work. His ideas are no. That's like saying, well, you know what? If I get elected president, I'm going to plant money trees in everybody's yard. That's not going to work. That's not even feasible to happen. This is what Trump does, but it's not going to happen. That's the national. Oh, get this. He don't even want to raise minimum wage. Now we've not had for the last 3 years. We've not had any gross improvement in life improvement, or whatever they call it, the gross, whatever it is each year. The wages hasn't grown up in quite a few years, but the way of life hasn't grown up. But you've seen everything else go down. So he thinks that. Well, my thing is, I think a doctor should always make more money than somebody that works at McDonald's. Sure, but my thing is, $7.25 minimum wage is a starving wage. And if you work, it's too high. He says it's too high. Too high. What? Look, check this out. I mean, if you work 40 hours a week, no matter where you work, if you work 40 hours a week, I think you should make a good living wage. You should not have to live in poverty if you work hard, if you work full time. I'm not saying you should make as much as a doctor or something. I'm just saying if you work 40 hours, you should be able to live comfortably. You should be able to be comfortable in your living situation. You shouldn't need government assistance and all this stuff if you work 40 hours a week. The Walton family, the richest family in America that owns Walmart, pay their workers the lowest wages. And it's just wrong. And for my view, that is just wrong. People that work full-time at Walmart, a lot of them need assistance, they need stamps, and they work 40 hours a week. I just feel like if you work 40 hours, no matter your education, you should have a livable wage. If you're a doctor, you make more money. Sure. I'm not speaking communism. I'm just saying, like, if you work hard, you should be able to at least shop at the dollar store like I do, working class, buddy. All right. Yeah, well, I mean, his policies are so. I mean, I didn't even know that shit, man, because I don't follow Trump. I knew about the wall. I knew about the wall. He never did. That's why I said he spent more time insulting the people he's running against and being smart aleck and sarcastic than he really did talking about, I want to make it better. Well, how do you make it better? What are your plans? I had to look the stuff up, but I'm Republican. Well, it's because he wanted to run for president, and he said, well, I'm going to pick the Republican side. What you guys believe in? What's the policies? Yeah. Because he don't know shit about policies, but he's a good debater. He's good at reading crowds. If he sees somebody in the crowd that's got the cowboy hat and the guitar, he's like, okay, I'm gonna pick on ethnic groups tonight or something. He's good at reading crowds and debating crowds and stuff. But people that actually follow politics and stuff realize his policies are unrealistic. That's why Republicans don't like him. The establishment doesn't like him because his stuff's unrealistic, and it's just verbal insults, and it's just popular on networks for ratings, and that's just what people see, and they think it's funny because not everybody watches politics. They just watch the news and like,
oh, well, okay, that was funny. I agree with him because he's funny. But that has nothing to do with it. Politics are boring unless you're into them like TeamB is. They're pretty boring to most people. So it's crazy. And you had this Trump supporter in our home state of North Carolina that he's a tow truck driver. Woman needed her car towed, and he said, I refuse to tow your car because you got a Bernie Sanders sticker. I'm like, what the fuck happened to American values? Because back in the day, you would have Republicans vote a Democrat if the Democrat was a better candidate and vice versa. But it's become such a fanboy and hatred popular thing to do now, that you would have these ignorant people saying, well, I'm not going to tow your car because you're a Bernie supporter. That's just stupid. What America first, American values first. That's like Bill saying, hey, I ain't going to tow your car because you're a Catholic. That's crazy. And the man should be suspended immediately for that. But that's the kind of ignorance and knowledge you get from Trump if you buy into his bullshit.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's very ignorant. He called Senator Warren, from a Democrat from Massachusetts, he called her Pocahontas in an interview.
Don't forget, he insults veterans. He insulted John McCain because John McCain got captured in the war. He said, well, you're not a good vet. You got captured. He insults veterans. You know,
he like this. He's not going to draw any from any kind of group. You got your older ones, your younger ones, your veterans, your women, your immigrants. You're going to have all these groups. And if he keeps wedging out, like he said this about women, women will achieve equal pay when they do as good a job as men in the workplace. Now, if that isn't sexist of anything I've ever heard, I'm sure that there are women that do a good job, if not more than men do. And I firmly believe that if a man, whoever does the job, whether it's a man or a woman, should get that pay. I don't think just because if a man is a vice president, I don't think he should get more than a woman as vice president. I believe they should get the same amount. That's my belief. He don't believe, Dennis said previously he advocated for equal pay. He said women should have absolute access to capital. If they do the same job, they get the same pay. So now here he is, flipped again. Now, one of the favorites, of course, is gun control. He wants to expand concealed weapons carrying. And he said if more citizens have been argued, an active shooter situation, the incident could have been stopped. No, it don't. Having more weapons means you're going to end up killing more people. I thought, they always say the Second Amendment. Second Amendment, they got to understand when it was created. Back then them times, they were going through wars and stuff.
Right.
When that stuff was created. Just get off from wars. Today, here's the way I feel about gun control. I feel, and I'll just put too much in to get away from Trump, I feel like only the police should have guns because they have to protect the towns and stuff like that. That's all I believe, and maybe SWAT and them. I don't believe every individual should, people should be able to, regular citizens should be able to have guns. If all guns were wiped away from regular citizens, I believe the crime rates would go down. I firmly do, because they couldn't shoot each other, they couldn't buy them, they could do whatever. I just feel like that's just my beliefs. But he wants to increase more guns. I don't want to do that. I don't want to. So that's the way he is on guns. And
he was questioned about nuclear weapons one time. He said, I'm not going to take it off the table. And the Europeans said, damn, is Donald Trump going to nuke us? Nukes? Really? He's like, I'm just not going to take it off the table. I'm not going to take it off the table. I mean, you don't say that because you got world leaders like, is this dude for real? He's going to bomb us?
It's just amazing how he's so contradictive of himself, because right here, he asks about taxes. Now, this is what he says about taxes. He says, he wants Trump will not release his tax. Here's what he said. Here's what he said. He wants to provide tax relief to the middle class to increase post-tax wages, to simplify tax filing process so more Americans file their taxes, discourage corporate evasions, which is the way companies evade tax, and refrain from increased national debt. That's what he says. He says he thinks it's unfair. Now, he claims this is where he tries to look like a good guy. He thinks it's unfair when wealthy pay very little in taxes, and he has advocated that higher income individuals pay more taxes. And you think, okay, that's a very good way of thinking.
Yeah.
You should want the higher ones to pay more taxes. But when he asked to release his tax documents to the public, he told a guy he doesn't like what the government does with his money. Unlike everybody else, he says, quote, I try and pay as little tax as possible because I hate what they do with my tax money. I hate the way they spend their money. So he's telling you right there, even though he believes the wealthy should pay more, he's saying, I try to pay as little as possible. How much more flip-flop can you get on that one statement there?
Yeah, and behind the curtain, he will give the higher-ups on the establishment a tax break. He's not going to tax the rich, you know. He don't pay taxes like you just said. That's pretty obvious. He's not going to help the working class and the middle class. He could care less about the working class and the middle class and the poor. He could care less about that. Dude, what happened?
Climate change. I was reading what he said on climate change. He's stupid, man.
Oh, well, climate change is a hoax, man. Scientists just make up shit, you know?
Yeah, he said he denies climate change, saying that it's just the weather and weather changes all the time.
That's a brilliant answer, man. You got these scientists.
That is a stupid thing to say. You know the weather is affecting. There's different effects because why do you think we've been having lately? We had that late winter, the late spring. We had a late summer, which, you know, remember when the summer was ending and winter began?
We're poisoning the greenhouse effect. We're poisoning the earth because
you got the ozone layer being thinned by all this smog and pollution that the air is going into is thinning down the.
Well, the truth is a lot of Trump probably believes in science because people dedicate their lives to science. They study this shit all the time. The problem is Trump is probably pro-fracking. He wants to drill into earth and stuff like that because they make a lot of profit from that. So that's probably why he said, well, you know, weather changes all the time. Big deal. So, yeah. He's just stupid. That's another reason I came to the left was watching like the Science Channel and stuff like that. You know, it just brought me there. But yeah, climate change denier, that's nothing new. But Trump, he's not going to have an educated opinion about it. Of course, he's just going to say, "What does the right think about it?" Or he's got a stupid answer. It worries me because people vote for him. I did not think he was going to get through the primaries, dude. It's just crazy. I mean, I have a lot of respect for Mitt Romney, John Kasich, people like that, George Bush aside. But, you know, I mean, you got some good conservatives out there, man, conservative values. And, man, this Trump guy, I'm so glad he did not come to my party. You know, I feel sorry for you. But at the same time, we're stuck with Hillary, dude. You know, it's no good over here.
Hillary doesn't win this year. He might flip-flop next year and go to next voting and turn to the party. But that's just his way, man. You know, and let's not forget, last but not least, before I have really much to say left on this man's policies, is he wants to build what you talked about at the beginning. He wants to build a 55-foot wall. Okay, here's what he's saying. Day one, he's going to propose a requirement that nobody he don't want people, like, you know how you go and you see a lot of times Mexicans, I've been in their stores where they wire money back and forth to Mexico. He's wanting to cut that out from what I'm reading. He wants to it says here he wants Mexico to make a one-time payment of $5 to $10 billion to ensure that $20 billion continues to flow into their country year after year. And there's other ways of getting them to pay the wall. He said here that they could receive that Mexicans will receive $24 billion in remittances from Mexican nationals working in the U.S. Majority comes from illegal aliens. And he said no significant social safety net provided in the state. He says Mexico, that if the Mexican government can contribute the funds needed to the U.S. to pay for the wall, the Trump administration will not promulgate the final rule and regulation. Trade tariffs are enforcing trade rules. So now he's talking about trading rules, talking about between them, canceling visas, saying that immigration is a privilege, not a right. And he said that the U.S. Mexico is totally dependent on the U.S. as a relief valve for its own poverty. And visa fees, increasing visa fees too, would help pay for the wall. He said that increasing fees on the border cards, of which are a million, are issued a year. He said is the single largest recipient of U.S. green cards, which confer a path to U.S. citizenship. And he says, get this is his conclusion to that. Mexico has taken advantage of us in other ways as well. Gangs, drugs, and cartels, traffickers have freely exploited our own borders and committed vast crimes. The U.S. is born of extraordinary daily cost of this criminal activity, including cost of trials and incarcerations, not to mention even the greater human cost. We have the moral high ground here and all the leverage. This time we use it in order to what? Make America great again. So there it is. That's your wall. That's how he plans on making it to build it. So we shall see.
And and if they try to build like a underground passage to get around the building, Trump's going to put forest animals in there, like lions, tigers, and bears. If they can get through that, they can get through the tunnel. Another thing, I saw a poll the other day where Donald Trump and the Hispanic Mexican Latino vote is down negative 16% with the Latino voters, the Mexican voters.
Of course.
Negative 16%. Mitt Romney had like 30% of the Hispanic vote, Latino vote, something like that, which is not bad. Whereas Donald Trump, negative 16%. Black people voting for Trump on a poll shows 3% black people will vote for him. One of them's Puff Daddy, Ben Carson, and I can't think of the other one.
Herman McCain. Herman McCain, he's the other black Republican.
Oh, man.
Very sad, man. Very sad.
You have to win. You have to find ways to win the ethnic vote. That's why he posted that picture eating Taco Bell. But that's racist. That is racist to do. Oh, I love Mexicans. I'm eating Taco Bell. You're not going to win the Hispanic vote that way. So I don't see how he's going to win. Then again, he's outperforming Hillary Clinton in polls based on data because, she keeps being called a liar and stuff, rightfully so. But I wouldn't be surprised. People are going to say, well, Trump's the lesser evil or something, but I don't see it that way. He lies just as much as and the thing is, Trump don't have anything to say issue-based because when he attacks the Clintons, he says, well, Bill Clinton said he didn't have sex with that woman, but we know he did. And there's your liar right there. But that's personal stuff. Who cares what you do in your personal life and relationships and whatnot? I haven't had perfect relationships. What's that got to do with an issue-focused campaign? That's the only strategies he has in attacking Hillary or whatever, or attacking anybody. Like when he's picking on Ted Cruz's wife, I'm like, what's this about? He's like, hey, my wife's more attractive than yours. I'm like, the fuck's that got to do with politics? Just stupid, man. Jerry Springer show. Ladies and gentlemen, we're just trying to we're just giving our opinion. You want to dislike? We got a couple of dislikes. You go right ahead, you Trump supporters. You dislike it all you want to because I just feel sorry for you. I just feel disappointed for you.
And I'm Republican, folks. Understand that I am Republican, and I'm saying this. I am very disappointed in Donald Trump being our party's representative. I do hope that somehow at the convention that they can somehow work around that because you don't want someone that don't understand politics. You want to see a regular person like you and I up there that's cool, but someone that just manipulates and don't really have a solid stance that flip-flops back and forth so much. You don't want to have that kind of person because that means they can be swayed to decisions. What happens if it comes between our national security and something that's going to benefit him? What do you think he's going to choose first? If something's going to be beneficial to him? Because trust me, all of his businesses is a flop. Even the buildings his own ain't even his own buildings. He's bringing his name.
He didn't build them. Yep. So one more thing. If the economy crashes again, Donald Trump was quoted as saying that he would just file for bankruptcy for America
And see, you don't want to do that. You don't want to be in debt
so stupid.
to other places. That's what we've tried to avoid. You know, Greece had to do that a few years back. Their whole country had to declare bankruptcy. You know, that we don't want that.
Yeah, but he didn't even think about it. It was just a quick-witted answer. I'll just file for bankruptcy.
We're no longer the superpower we once were. You know,
no, we're in debt. Yeah.
You know, China is, I think, now the only remaining superpower that's left. The U.S. has lost its status over the years, and we want to get that back. And I just, that's why I just kind of feel that, Trump gets it. I'm just not even going to vote. It's sad to say it'll be.
But we're still the richest country and everything like that. But we just suffer as far as like healthcare and certain moral issues and people like Donald Trump. So, we're not attacking Democrats. We're not attacking, like progressive liberals or conservatives here. We just both agree that, stop Trump or whatever it is. We don't like Trump. I'd rather have Mitt Romney as president than Trump any day, to be fair, so, just stop the Trump. It's just all we're saying. And if you're a Trump supporter, fuck you and quit disliking my shit, but that's okay. Thanks for the view. Thanks for the view.
That's just our opinion. That's
you want to endorse hatred. You want to endorse a dictator, a textbook narcissist. You want to endorse that, then dislike my video. But thanks for the view. Thanks for the view. I appreciate your view. I got your view. I got your dollar.
I'm sorry if you folks disagree with me. I mean, that's my opinion. I mean, I'm not a punk Trump supporter, as you can see. I am Republican, but I don't agree with him. I surely wish it was someone else. But, like I said, if it comes down to what he gets the final vote, and runs, I'm just not going to vote. I'm not going to vote. I just hope there's some miracle during the Republican National Convention where they can get this sorted out. But if he gets it, I'm just not going to vote for him. Just plain and simple. I mean, you can get mad. I'm sorry, folks. On my page, anybody that's a Trump supporter, I'm just not, and it's just my video.
I wouldn't even apologize.
Doing this real talk from me on how I feel. It's election time. And
well, that's what YouTube's about, ladies and gentlemen. It's about just expressing our opinions. Now, as a Democrat, I was very happy with the primaries, but I'm not liking Hillary getting all the delegates. Hopefully the super delegates will switch to Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders getting my vote. I mean, it's highly unlikely he's going to win the nominee, because if she gets indicted, they're talking about establishments talking about throwing Joe Biden in there. Now, that's fucking ridiculous to me. When I first heard that, I was laughing. I was like, that's stupid. But people will protest that. That's not. I don't think that's going to happen. Joe Biden running, but I like Joe Biden. He lost his son a couple of years. He's been in politics 1,000 years. I like Joe Biden, but that's just unfair to Bernie, because Bernie's busted his ass in this campaign and giving these repetitive speeches because he's going to different states, so he has to repeat what he's saying. For the people that say, "Oh, he's repetitive," I'm like, he's going to different states. He's got to tell them what his policies are and the differences between him and Hillary. That he's not a liar, like the Bernie bros will say. Yeah, you're not a liar, So the Democratic side was very, very exciting primary, but so far. I mean, we've got a little bit of hope for Bernie, at least for me. Going forward, from Bill's perspective, all he's got is Trump, and nobody even the establishment don't like Trump, and I feel sorry for Bill, and I feel sorry too, because I don't want him to be my president. Mitt Romney, if he can get run as a third running mate or whatever in the election, I mean, that's cool. I mean, I'd rather have Mitt Romney as president over Trump, because at least that's somebody can say, well, I'm not a Republican, but I can respect that, because it ain't supposed to be one-sided anyway all the time. And that's a president I could be proud of. At least the Europeans and the Asian peoples won't laugh at us, and the Muslims. Who's that joke? That's pretty much all I got to say, people. You need to spread love, positivity, not hatred. Don't vote for somebody, a dictator like that. If you're independent, I think you guys will probably vote for Bernie. I mean, I'm not saying Bernie's 100% perfect. Who knows if he'll raise the taxes or not? I mean, that's an argument from both sides. But at least I think he would be a better. I think Bernie would be a fine president, better than Obama, certainly better than Trump. But if you're independent or undecided, just give Bernie a look. Just listen to him. If not, I mean, just do what you want to do. If you're a straight up Republican, just don't vote. I don't blame you. I wouldn't vote either. I would not vote for that. I would not vote for Trump because people. The thing is, through history, people are going to look back and laugh at us. Our future generations are going to look back at this point in history and say, why the fuck was Trump so close to being the president or was the president? What the fuck was wrong with America? What were they going through? A Hitler era? What was going on? It's just embarrassing. No class, man. No class. I ain't no racist, man. I get along with everybody. I'm a fucking Buddhist. I'm going to marry an Asian woman someday. I'm not racist at all. Bill, he's a Christian. He's never been racist. He's got, I hate to say, well, we got black friends because everybody says that. But, yeah, we got plenty. We work with black people. It's nothing to do with race. I was hoping we were beyond race, and Trump just brings us back to this shit. It's just stupid, Yeah. But anyway, that's all I got to say about the ignorant, bigot, textbook narcissist Donald Trump.
Yeah, folks, that's my views.
Get informed, and vote correctly. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, exactly. Because all I want to do is just get my voice out there on how I feel about it. Whether gain any supporters, lose any supporters, gain any subscribers, lose any, then I'm sorry. I just, just had to be something said. It's feeling. Like I said, it's the platform we use it on is YouTube. That's just the way I feel. So, can't apologize for the way I feel.
Well, this is TeamB signing out. If you dislike my video because you're a Trump supporter, I don't care. Go kill yourself. Go kill yourself. Put yourself out of your misery. And
this is Real Talk with Bill Mack too on my page. So check it out when you can.
Later.